Yes, Minister, I've spoken about this principle previously. I did this morning, and I think in all of the COVID legislation that I've spoken in, and most of which I've supported, but this is just a safeguard, but it's also about better communication in terms of what you're doing. This is very wide-ranging legislation, this and tomorrow's piece, and I think the very least that we can expect is that there's clarity about the regulations, the statutory instruments and the regulations that you are introducing under this legislation. You have, a free hand. It's enabling legislation in the main, and it does give you huge powers. But, from our point of view on this side of the House, it's very important that we're aware of actually what the regulations are. There's currently no arrangements for notifying us of that. But it's not only for members in here, it's for the general public as well. And there has been a lot of confusion about messaging. I mean, we've seen over the last couple of weeks, kites been flown in relation to what NPHET are going to recommend, then what NPHET actually does recommend, and then, what the government response to that is. And all of that, it might be okay for practicing a particular type of politics, but from the point of view of the public, there's a lot of confusion about what is actually being proposed. And it's not only then the public, it's also those who are expected to actually implement and enforce those regulations. And we know there's been a lot of confusion about that in the past, on the part of the Gardaí, for example, and them being expected to enforce regulations that haven't even been signed. And then we're scampering, rooting around, trying to find these regulations, see what they mean. And I raised a question on this at the Health Committee last week, just, where can we get a clear list? And I was referred to the website, but it showed 10 different statutory instruments under the emergency legislation. But then in each one of those, it was that the work was underway on consolidating them, so they're not even available on the website at the moment. So look, this is about better communication, and I think it's a reasonable proposal that I'm making here. I agree with the two that Deputy Cullinan has referred to, but what I'm proposing is that we would at least be notified in advance of new regulations coming into force, that they would be laid before the Houses 2 days before they come into force, and that we would be notified. And I'd hope you think that's reasonable. Thanks.